Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. I'm here to talk about matchmaking and the strange things that happens with tunes and matching your cars in different lobbies. Oftentimes we talk a lot about low performance point high evo being the dominant setup, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. I have two cars here I'm showing. I'm going to race both of them as time goes, but one is a 662 setup with 1713 evo, and the other one is a 666 setup with 1747 evo. Notice that they're both in the same lobby. How did that happen? Whoops. So what's going on is that one car, after being used for a while, because it's a 10.6 dyno that's running about 10.4s on a push, is actually being moved up towards a higher lobby, despite the fact that it is essentially running what is a low performance point high evo setup. This car here, the one that is about to race, actually is running a 10.48 dyno, but has actually ended up in the 10.6 lobby because for the most part I didn't have to win with 10.4 dyno to actually win any races. So this is something that kind of goes back to talking about knowing these lobbies and how these cars work. We know that if you control your runs and you run them in the proper way in the lobbies, a higher performance point car like this one can actually end up in a slower lobby, whereas a lower performance point car that is supposedly more competitive could end up in a higher lobby. So it's kind of a tricky situation with these. It's hard to sometimes figure out what is causing what, but bottom line is this one on the right cannot run any faster than a 10.4 something versus my other car, which is already a 10.4 something car that easily can run slower and still win. So that's the difference. Why? We don't know. We don't really understand exactly how matchmaking works. All I know is that the matchmaking is set up in a way where sometimes, even if you have the quote best setup, how you run it over time can push you into different lobbies. This is the key thing to understand with matchmaking, is that it's not about the dyno, it's not about always the low performance point high evo, it's about how you drive the car and how often you run under or over dyno. That's the key. If you figure that part out, then you know that it doesn't really matter whether the car is dynoing a particular number. What matters is how long you have been driving it in the lobby and how often you run under or over dyno. And the longer you can run over dyno and win, the longer the car will be more competitive. Even if you have this killer setup that is a dyno busting beast in the certain lobbies, if you don't have it running a little bit slower than dyno and winning, over time that car will eventually move to a point where it won't be as competitive. And I've seen guys with some awesome tunes, but they come into lobbies and they just bust dyno like crazy. They don't last too long. They get kicked out. Why am I saying all this stuff to you guys on this video? Because I want to tell you that it's not always about running the fastest. It's about running the most consistent to win. You want to know your dyno, run around your dyno, and then try to move around lobbies to matchmake in a way that lets your car continuously win. The AMG is a medium level car. If I were to give it a live tune rating, I would say it's a B to C car, B minus, C plus car, meaning that it's good, but it doesn't really work out to be like the best car in the lobby for any given reason. However, it's certainly solid. I slowed down a little too much there. It's okay. It's certainly a solid car, and it's a good live racer. This car relies heavily on body and transmission stage 6. Both setups are leveraging those particular stages, and those adds up to about the same management wise of the car. But what's interesting is, again, if you look at the two dynos, they're very different, but the cars end up in the same exact lobby. And this is actually a better low performance point high evo setup theoretically than this, but the 10.43 puts me in 10.6, and the 10.6 puts me in 10.6. Anyway, that's part of what I wanted to kind of discuss in this quick video, just to let you know that even if you have what you consider to be an ultimate low performance point high evo tune, where you end up lobbying because of the way the performance point evo and the way the car drives kind of works out can still make it so that ultimately you're not facing the same opponents that you think you would. So don't just get caught up in the idea that the lowest and highest is always the greatest. Sometimes it's a little more than that. The right parts, even if it's a little higher point here, with the manageable point here, the balancing seems to be that a good all-around tune can sometimes work just as well, if not better, than a ultimate min-max tune. Okay, we were having this discussion in my crew chat, and I just figured I would make a video that actually demonstrated. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, no problem. Hit me up in the comments. I'll try to explain, or hit me up in Facebook page, CSR2 Tips and Tunes page. I'm an admin there, and I can always try to explain things better. But what I'm just trying to show here is that there isn't just one greatest setup. There's always a balance of setup versus how you drive it and where the game ultimately places you as a result. Well, thank you for watching this video. Again, feel free to make comments. If you like the video, leave a like. If you like my channel, hit subscribe, hit the bell. You get notifications when I put up new videos. And as always, thank you for watching my videos. I'll catch you next time.